don't think about summer food as diet food. Think about summer food as yummy, wonderful, good food. And when you maximize, your fruits and your vegetables, then you just have less room for the less healthy stuff. So it's not about dieting. It's not about restricting. It's about, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful opportunity to go to the farmer's market and to get as many healthy foods into my diet, into my nutrition as possible. Welcome to the Biking Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Smith, and I lost 50 pounds riding my bike by focusing on what my body can do. Now, I teach other women how to do the same. I am obsessed with completely flipping the script on weight loss so that we can work out to feel good and feel strong. If you are ready to stop dieting, learn how to appreciate your body, and have fun riding your bike, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to record this week's episode, to hang out with you this week, because I am telling you, my friend, in case you haven't noticed, summer is right around the corner. And if you are anything like me, for years you have had all of these thoughts about your body, the summer, how your body looks during the summer, how much you want to look good in a bathing suit during the summer. So if you have ever had any of these thoughts, this episode is for you, because we are going to be looking at weight loss during the summer in a completely different way. It's not going to be about how we look in a bathing suit. It's not going to be about restricting everything leading up to the summer so we do look good in that bathing suit. It's going to be all about approaching summer weight loss in an empowered and really positive way that is not only going to make weight loss possible this summer, but also make us feel really good. Now, before I dive in, I just want you to think about whether or not there might be a friend who really could use this message right now. And if you could do me a favor, and more importantly, you're a friend, a favor, and share this episode with her, even if she doesn't ride a bike, because this episode is going to help any woman who wants to lose weight this summer. They don't need to ride a bike. They just have to be open to making a plan and ideally moving their body in whatever way feels good for them. All right. So please do consider sharing this episode with a friend. I know that you're going to get a ton out of it, and I know that she will too. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I don't know about you, but the summer has a tendency to always really creep up on me. Now, I'm a teacher, so you think that I would know when that date is, and I do know when that date is. At least I know what day is my last day of school. However, I'm not always thinking about what I want my summer to be and what I want my summer to look like and how I want to feel during the summer until I'm almost right on top of it. So we're going to get a little bit of a jump start this year in terms of thinking about summer and how we want to approach it. So if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going away in a couple of weeks, I haven't been riding my bike that much, I'm afraid I'm going to eat myself silly over vacation, and you are getting kind of a little bit worried, if you will, about the summer and how to approach it, I am here to help you calm yourself down and realize that there is a way to approach summer and weight loss and our thoughts about summer and our bodies that's really healthy and sustainable and doable, and that feels really good. So if you're stressed out about the summer at all and you're already worrying about getting in that bathing suit, what you're going to look like, what it looks like in the mirror, your thoughts about what other people are thinking about you in that bathing suit, or maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into my cycling clothes right now because I don't like the way that I look in them. If you're thinking any of those thoughts right now, I think this episode is really, really going to help you feel more empowered and ready for this summer season and help you really enjoy it so that you can go away and you can go on vacation and you can eat things that you like without feeling like you have to restrict everything because it's summer and because you're wearing less clothing. That's no fun. That's not fun for anybody. So let's talk about these 5 simple, quick tips that I have for you today. The first tip I have for you is to have a plan for vacations and for holiday weekends. So many of us will be going on vacation this summer. I have a couple of trips planned. I have a lot of fun holiday weekends coming up. We just actually finished up our Memorial Day weekend and we had a little party for my son's 10th birthday yesterday. So these are some of the things that I've been kind of thinking about is how am I going to manage my vacation food and my weekend food, my holiday weekend food, and just the different rhythm of the summer. So as a teacher, I have a completely different rhythm during the summer than I do during the school year. And I have more of an ability to actually manage my food and my meals in a way where I'm eating when I'm actually hungry. And so that's really great, but I need to go into the summer with a plan, and you need to go into the summer with a plan too. And just to be clear, it is never too late to make this plan. So if you don't listen to this episode until you're halfway through the summer, or you forget all about this episode until you're halfway through the summer and revisit it and revisit what we're talking about today, that's totally okay. It is never too late to make a plan. The idea is that you just want to have one. So as these vacations and these holiday weekends are coming up, I want you to think about how you are going to be making your food choices and your food decisions, what kinds of food choices and food decisions you're going to make, and how you're going to actually be able to enjoy both the food and your vacation and your holiday weekend at the same time. When you take your vacation, you want to be able to go into it with confidence instead of thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going on vacation. I know I always gain at least 5 pounds over vacation. Spoiler, you don't actually gain weight that fast. You're just probably going to retain a little more water because of the salt and whatnot that you've been eating. But that's what it feels like. It feels like you gain 5 pounds on vacation every time you go away, weigh yourself before, weigh yourself, come back, and the scale's out of control. So instead of just letting your brain kind of run away with all of those thoughts, I'd like you to develop a really simple plan. And your plan could be as simple as, I am going to eat the foods that I love over vacation, but I am just not going to overeat them. I'm going to eat when I'm hungry over vacation, and I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to take pauses, and I'm going to stop when I had enough food, and I'm going to actually let myself enjoy the food that I eat. I know, for example, that when I go away for vacation, my family often goes to the same locations and we have our favorite restaurants and I have my favorite meals. And I really want to look forward to those meals without feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm going to blow it and I'm going to gain all of this weight. That doesn't feel good. But when I go into my vacation thinking, oh, I'm going to be spending this time with my family, these are the foods that I'm going to maybe bring with me that I know are going to sustain me. And these are the meals where I know I'm going to be eating things I don't normally eat. And that's okay. And I'm going to let myself really enjoy these things. I like to, when I'm on vacation, kind of have a few simple guidelines for myself in terms of not overeating. I like to kind of brainstorm when I'm going to get vegetables into my meals because those make me feel really good. I'm going to make sure that I have kind of the vegetables and proteins that I need with every meal. And I'm also going to be very excited about some of the desserts. And there's this burger place we go to, and I always really like the burger. And I can't wait for any of those things, and I'm going to let myself actually enjoy them. So I have a plan. I go into vacation having a plan, and I come out of vacation knowing that whatever happened on vacation is over. And as I get back into my new routine, if I did happen to overeat over vacation or maybe even gain a little bit of weight over vacation, I know that I'm going to be able to get back into my routine and get back to eating the way that I was eating before. When you think about the actual number of meals that you eat over vacation versus the number of meals that you eat an entire year, you realize that it's really just a blip and that all you have to do is get back in your routine when you return. So my second tip for you is to avoid dieting completely and embrace healthy summer foods that are in season. One of the coolest things about food during the summer is that there are so many healthy fruits and vegetables that are in season that taste amazing. I love peaches during the summer, for example. I love to eat blueberries during the summer. I love watermelon. So what are some of the foods that are really good and really tasty that you enjoy? I love fresh vegetables, so I am all in on, the cucumbers and the zucchini and the green beans during the summer. Don't think about summer food as diet food. Think about summer food as yummy, wonderful, good food. And when you maximize, your fruits and your vegetables, then you just have less room for the less healthy stuff. So it's not about dieting. It's not about restricting. It's about, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful opportunity to go to the farmer's market and to get as many healthy foods into my diet, into my nutrition as possible. So that's my second tip. My third tip for you is related to biking during the summer. One of the things about summer and summer biking is that certain times of the day are really, really hot. And you want to make sure that you are well hydrated if you have to ride during those really hot times of day. Even during the cooler times of day, you need to hydrate more during the summer than you do in the cooler months. So when it's so hot out, definitely see if you can ride either earlier in the day or later in the day. I almost never ride in the middle of the day in the summer just because it is way too hot. So my third tip for you is to really consider riding during the coolest times of day possible so that you can still get your movement in and you can still ride your bike. And this goes for whatever movement it is that you're doing. If you are either not in a season where you're riding bikes that much during the summer, I know a lot of people who ride bikes ride a lot during the summer. But if that's not you, that's fine. I know that some of the women in this community live in areas that are just way too hot to ride in the summer, period, full stop. I've definitely spoken to some members in Florida who say, yeah, if I don't get out first thing in the morning, I really can't ride outside. And so all of you people who ride indoors during the winter, I'm actually doing that during the summer because that's when it makes the most sense for me. So ride whenever and however you can. If you can only ride during the hottest time of the day, make sure that you're well hydrated, or even consider riding inside. If it's that hot out, an indoor ride is just as good as an outdoor ride in terms of maintaining your health and your fitness and losing weight biking over the summer. Because remember, biking is about riding to feel good and feel strong. We move our bodies to feel good and strong. We don't move our bodies to lose weight. We don't move our bodies to burn calories, to earn our food. That is not how we look at biking in terms of a long, sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So those are some things to just kind of keep in mind about the heat and managing the heat and making sure that you get on the bike during the times of day where it makes the most sense. My next tip for you is directly related to this actually, and that is to make sure that you are fueling and hydrating properly for your rides. This is important all of the time at all times of year, but it is most important during the summer, especially with hydration. If you haven't been hydrating and fueling your body prior to the ride, you might be setting yourself up for some trouble. So for example, I know that for many years I was doing a Wednesday night bike ride all through the summer. And I knew that I had to make sure that I was drinking water throughout the day. I had to make sure that I was fueling my body throughout the day. I had to make sure that I had a good carb and protein combo about an hour before that ride if I was going to be able to sustain that ride in any kind of way. So you want to make sure that you are hydrating. You want to make sure you're drinking enough water. I usually bring electrolyte mixes with me on the bike during the summer. And I make sure that I get some carbs in before that ride so that I have the fuel that I need. It is horrible to be on the bike and to no longer be able to spin your legs because you don't have the fuel that you need, the hydration that you need. You haven't set yourself up for success on that ride. So that's my fourth tip for you. My fifth tip for you is to have an end of summer and a beginning of fall kind of entry plan, re-entry plan, if you will. Again, I've mentioned to you that my schedule during the summer is much, much different from my schedule during the year. And I find that during the summer, I personally, despite vacations and whatnot, because I am able to move my body so much more, I do have a tendency to lose weight during the summer. However, I always need to have a plan for going back into the fall. And that is really important. If I've taken a bunch of vacations, if I've had a lot of time off, then I need to have a plan for, okay, how am I going to get back into my routine? And what is my routine going to look like this year? You also should have a re-entry plan for, after your holiday weekend and after your vacations, because most of us do not eat the same way during vacations that we do during other times. We also tend to eat more on holiday weekends than we do other times. And one of the best tips that I can give you is to have a plan for how you are going to be approaching your food when that time where you may have been overeating is over, so that you can get back on track. Because what can happen is that if you get in the habit of eating more, if you get in the habit of not checking in with yourself, seeing if you're actually hungry, if you get in the habit of drinking a lot more, then it's so much easier to stay in that habit if you don't have a plan for how to kind of go back to the healthier lifestyle that you were living before. There is nothing wrong with taking a pause and enjoying a great vacation, enjoying a great meal, enjoying an awesome weekend if you have a plan for how you are going to get back into your healthier lifestyle when it is all over. Let yourself have it. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself be free during the summer, over the weekend, during a holiday. Don't feel like you can't eat all of the things that everyone else is eating. Feel like, oh, this is one meal where I'm eating in a way that I don't normally eat, and that's okay. And I know that tomorrow I'm going to be eating differently. And maybe during that meal, you just enjoy the foods you really like in reasonable quantities and you move on. Maybe during that meal or during that vacation, you ate your face off. You ate everything. You were stuffed. Your tummy was like bothering you the whole time. Whatever the case may be, make sure that you let it go and have a plan for how to get back to where you were before. So you should have that plan for after every vacation. You should have that plan after every kind of holiday weekend, and you should have that plan as you're moving into the fall. You don't want to enter the fall feeling like, oh my gosh, I lost complete control over the summer and I just don't care anymore. So I'm just going to give up. Because here in the Biking Wellness community, we aren't giving up. We are not making temporary changes. We are human. We are women who enjoy our lives and sometimes make great decisions and sometimes maybe not so much. But the only difference between succeeding on your bike and losing weight on your bike and not succeeding is not giving up. And I know you can do this. I know you can go out there and have an awesome summer. I know that you can lose weight biking this summer if you want to. And I know that you aren't giving up and you're always going to be coming back to this community, back to this podcast, back to Biking Wellness so that you can get back on track. Okay? That is it, my friends. Those are my tips for you in order to have an awesome, amazing summer where you lose weight over the summer. All you have to do is have a plan for your vacations, for holiday weekends. Really let yourself enjoy that time, but have a plan for how you're going to enjoy yourself on those vacations. You're going to avoid dieting, tip number 2, and embrace all of the healthy, yummy foods over the season. So it's not about restricting the stuff that maybe isn't as healthy for you. It's getting more of that healthy stuff in. Tip number 3 is to ride your bike during the coolest times of day possible. That's going to make you not only feel better, but also make you more likely to ride consistently over the summer. Tip number 4 is to make sure that you're always fueling and hydrating for your rides over the summer. And then finally, tip number 5, don't forget, is to have an end of summer and or fall entry plan. So have a plan to end the summer and enter fall. Maybe it's, getting back to a healthier lifestyle that you usually have in the fall. Or maybe it's a plan for, oh my gosh, my time in the fall is going to be more structured and limited. How am I going to approach my health and my wellness over the fall? Oh my goodness. I know that was a lot that I threw at you, but it's so manageable when you approach summer in such a way of, oh my gosh, this is a great time of year. I'm going to go out there and have fun. I'm not going to worry about what I look like in a bathing suit. And it's just going to be altogether incredibly awesome. So thank you so much for joining me. It was so great to spend this time with you. And again, if you have a friend you think might benefit from this message who maybe just needs a little bit of a lighthearted reminder that summer can be really fun and you can lose weight at the same time, please, please, please share this podcast with her. Thanks again for being here. And until next time, ride on. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Biking Wellness Podcast. Be sure to head on over to sassy.com/guide, SASCY.com/guide, to get my completely free Lose Weight Biking Quick Start Guide so that you can get started with simple, doable weight loss today. That's SASCY.com/guide.